and I don't get why people don't feel the way that I feel. What I do is because that culture, our culture especially, has been suppressed and eradicated over time, and it's being replaced as we speak.
Ant Middleton fires back at SADIQ Khan after his controversial comments this week. You're not going to believe what just happened. Because this week, something sparked a political firestorm in London, and it started with just one video. While everyone was distracted by the usual headlines, crime statistics, transport debates, political speeches, something massive was unfolding in the background. Something raw, unfiltered, and unexpected. And it came from a man known for calm under pressure, Ant Middleton. What began as a simple reaction clip quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments of the week. A moment that left viewers stunned, MPs whispering, and the Mayor of London, SADIQ Khan, suddenly under more pressure than he expected. Because Ant Middleton didn't hold back. Not in anger, not in rage, not in insults, but in honesty. And honestly, that's what made it hit so hard. It all started after a series of comments the mayor made earlier in the week, comments many Londoners felt brushed aside real concerns. Concerns about safety. Concerns about confidence. Concerns about why so many people feel the city is heading in the wrong direction. Middleton watched those comments, paused, and then something in him snapped. He hit record. And the words that followed, they hit harder than some parliamentary speeches. I've led people through real danger, he said, voice steady, deliberate. When people are scared, you don't tell them they're wrong. You listen. That one line, that one sentence was enough to ignite a conversation across the country. Because it wasn't just a celebrity talking. It wasn't political point scoring. It wasn't a partisan attack. It was a former soldier, a survival expert, a public figure known for mental toughness, saying he'd had enough of politicians dismissing genuine concerns. And that's where the energy shifted. Comments flooded in. Clips went viral. Reaction videos multiplied by the hour. People weren't just watching Middleton, they were agreeing with him. One viewer wrote, "Middleton isn't being dramatic. He's being honest. London feels different now." Another comment said, "When a man trained to stay calm says something is wrong, you stop and listen." And then came the panel discussions, the radio hosts, the political commentators all weighing in on a moment that suddenly exploded far beyond one clip. But the real turning point, that came when Middleton pushed forward, looked straight into the camera, and delivered the line that would be shared on every platform within hours. Leaders don't hide behind excuses. They face the storm head-on. Those words spread everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Twitter. Even journalists reposted it with captions like, "This is striking. This is going to echo in City Hall. This feels like a turning point." Because whether you support the mayor or not, whether you agree with Middleton or not, the message itself landed with the weight of someone who has lived through pressure most people will never experience. And the bigger issue wasn't the disagreement itself. It was what the moment represented. For months, London has been wrestling with questions about safety, accountability, and leadership. So when someone like Ant Middleton, who rarely steps into politics, finally speaks up, people notice. And they didn't just notice. They responded. A former Met police officer told LBC, "Middleton expressed what frontline officers have whispered privately for years: they feel blamed for every problem but supported in none." Another commentator said, "Khan needs less media management and more problem-solving. People want reassurance, not explanations." But perhaps the most powerful reaction came from ordinary Londoners, commuters, parents, young people, shop owners, all echoing the same sentiment. Someone finally said it out loud. That's the part that stings politically. Because the moment criticism stops coming from political rivals and starts coming from everyday people, that's when a leader knows the narrative has slipped. And Middleton didn't disrespect the mayor. He didn't insult him. He didn't use inflammatory language. He simply described what thousands of people have been feeling for months. A growing disconnect between City Hall and the city itself. He talked about fear. He talked about frustration. He talked about responsibility. But he also talked about something deeper, something many Londoners feel but can't always put into words. The gap between lived experience and political messaging. Middleton's message was simple. When people say they feel unsafe, You don't argue with them. You don't dismiss them. You listen because that's your job. And that's why this moment resonated far beyond political lines. Because, truly, people didn't expect confrontation. They didn't expect drama. They didn't even expect a viral moment. What they didn't expect was honesty. Real honesty. From someone with no political advantage to gain. And that's where this story becomes bigger than Middleton, bigger than Khan, bigger than 1 week's news cycle. Because the question now isn't, what did Aunt Middleton say? The question is, why did it take him saying it for people to feel heard? That's the part that lingers. That's the part City Hall can't ignore. And that's the part that leaves London asking, what happens next? May be the real story to watch.